Kevin, America's been talking a lot about garbage this week. Well, we're going to have some garbage on Sunday. We're going to preview Saints-Panthers. Thomas, hit that intro.
Welcome to Saints Happy Hour Podcast. We never trade up.
If there was a path to give up 3 first-round picks to get Jaden Daniels, I would do it. And I would pick Jaden Daniels.
Now grab a drink and enjoy the show.
All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Saints Happy Hour Podcast. As always, we are brought to you by Hardhide Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey. Thanks for joining us. If you don't mind, hit the subscribe button to our YouTube channel and leave a comment in the comment section. It helps with the algorithm. It's a great way to support the show. It doesn't cost you anything. So I got Thomas with me, running the show back in Poland as always. Okay, Kevin.
Yes.
Saints Panthers.
Yeah. Do we have to?
We do. But I want to start here in this sense with this, because the Saints are 2-6, and they are favored by 7.5 points in Carolina. If that doesn't explain to you how bad the Carolina Panthers are, I don't know what will, because for a 2-win team on the road to be favored by 7.5, I can't remember this. If the Saints were playing Carolina at home, if you would just flip this around and the Saints were playing Carolina at home, I think there'd be like an 11-point favorite, which for a 2-win team to be an 11-point favorite over anyone, it just is mind-blowing.
What is it? It's 7?
7.5.
7.5?
Yeah, I've seen it at 8 in some places.
Yeah. I could see 11.
You know, at
I
home.
can see that.
So
contract the Panthers.
Relegate them. So here's my thing that I even it even like pains me to say this out loud, because you know me, I'm always root for the Saints. I don't root for them to lose really until they're eliminated. And that's just my thing, because rooting for them to lose during games it feels gross and it's not fun. We look forward to football all year long.
Right.
But I have to say, Kevin, I know they're not going anywhere this year.
Right.
And it seems to me that Mickey Loomis, he might not be being fully honest where, you know, he is publicly completely committed to DA 100%. And it looks like they might even be looking for reasons to keep him in the next year. So because of that, there is a part of me, and I don't even know how big a part of me it is, but there's a significant part of me that's like, I kind of want the Saints to lose Sunday, because here's the thing. If they lose, I know there's lots of media people in New Orleans that'll say, oh, he's committed to DA and they want to help him be a better coach and this and that. And it's just one loss, and one loss is not going to change the trajectory of what the Saints are going to do. But I'm here to tell you, if the Saints lose to Carolina on Sunday, Kevin, something hilariously catastrophic needs to happen, because they're not going to play. The Saints aren't going to play the Panthers on Sunday and lose, and we'll be like, what could DA do? It's just that sometimes you play hard and you got a good plan and it doesn't go your way. Like, something catastrophic will have to happen. Either the defense will quit, they'll have 6 turnovers, they'll have a dozen penalties, like something catastrophic will happen. And I think that will move that, like, they lose to Carolina, it's over for Dennis Allen. Like, you cannot bring him back. I don't care what the Saints want to do, what they plan to do. They lose to Carolina on Sunday, it's over for Dennis Allen. It might not be over Monday morning, but it'll be over. And there's part of me that wants it to be over, and I want DA out of here. And if they lose to Carolina, I won't say that I'm like going to wake up Sunday and be like hardcore rooting for it. But if it starts happening on Sunday at noon and it by like 1:30, I think I'll be pretty cool with it. And that makes me sad, and it's kind of gross to think that, but that's where I am.
Well, look, Carolina right now is slated for the 1st overall pick. The Saints have the 6th overall pick. I think I don't know. I just feel weird rooting against the team.
I mean, if they lose to Carolina, number 1 pick's in play. 100%. Because then who would be ahead of them? They would be tied with Carolina.
Well,
They'd be
the
tied
Jaguars.
with the Patriots.
Here are the teams ahead of them: the Titans, the Patriots, the Jets, and the Jags. So all
The
AFC
Jets won last
teams.
night,
And
so they're not.
actually, the two teams that are immediately behind the Saints are the Raiders and the Browns. So it is the AFC is a complete shit show.
It is.
And then the two worst teams in the NFC are both in the NFC South. So, like, if they get beat, like, that would be the real benefit if they get beat by the Panthers. Like, for all the people who are screaming for firing DA and whatnot, the real benefit is not that Mickey Loomis or the team might fire DA. The real benefit is that the Saints are going to move up in the draft order, and like, that's it. That's what I have to hold on to. I'm not worrying. I've said this. I'm going to keep saying it right now. I'm not worrying or thinking about firing DA or getting rid of DA. If the team sucks with him in charge, then let him finish out the year. Let the team get whatever high draft pick they're going to get, and then run him out the building.
I'm going to make an analogy, and I think Thomas will like this one, because Thomas, he's seen Goodfellas like 9,000 times. Apparently, like, Goodfellas in Poland is like huge deal. Or is it just a huge deal to you, Thomas? Like, you love Goodfellas, right?
I mean, it's not a huge deal to me. I don't love it. I just like it. It's not a bad movie. It's a good movie to rewatch. It's a good movie to rewatch, man.
Thomas is like, nope.
It's a good movie to rewatch. It's not a bad movie. It's, nothing spectacular, but it's pretty good.
Here's my analogy between Goodfellas and the Saints and the Panthers. If the Saints losing to Carolina is like Tommy from Goodfellas when they killed Billy Batts. When Tommy and Goodfellas killed Billy Batts, that was it for him. He was getting whacked. Like, you can't kill a made guy and make him disappear. When you do that in the mob, you're done. You might not be done that day or the next week, but eventually you're done. And I think losing to Carolina, it's the equivalent of Tommy and Goodfellas killing Billy Batts because of the shine box. Mm-hmm. Get your shine box on. That's my thing, Kevin. That's what I really believe if they lose to Carolina. So that's why.
Well, fine. But clamoring for the Panthers to somehow win, and then fire DA on Monday.
No, I don't need to fire on Monday. I just know that it's over if they lose to Carolina. I don't need it Monday.
I don't know. I feel like it's over already. I mean,
you feel. See, and
here's the thing. I'm the guy that still thought it was possible they might get to 4 or 5 wins. I think it's over.
Yeah, I still think there is a flicker of hope that they could. I don't think they're going to get to above 5 wins, but I do think there's a path where it could flicker, and there could be a sense of like, oh my God, DA might save his job. But I think if you lose to Carolina, that's out the window, because I think if you lose to Carolina, guys start to quit. These injuries that are building up, they're like, oh my God, coach, I can't really go anymore. Put me on IR. And to the game specifically, Kevin, the Saints are now getting healthy on offense. The injury report in the secondary is a disaster. Like, they're without Paulson Adebo because he's on IR, right? Yeah. They are going to be without Marshawn Lattimore. He is DMP Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Rico Payton, cornerback, UDFA, DMP all week. That means he's probably not going to go. Kool-Aid McKinstry was limited on Wednesday, DMP Thursday and Friday. That's never a good sign. He's already out. So they're already out. Marshawn Lattimore, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Rico Payton is questionable. I don't know. He probably, as a UDFA, Kevin, he's probably like, this is my shot. I gotta get healthy, and I got a chance to start at corner. This is my shot. So he's still questionable. But that's devastation on corner. And I know it's Carolina, and I know they stink, and I know they're playing the midget Bryce Young at quarterback. But Kevin, that's a bad sign. I think if I was gambling, I would take the 7.5 with Carolina with the Saints injury report from Friday. I think I would.
I absolutely would. I would absolutely. Like, if it's 7, I would take 7. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be a fun game to see how low of a spread you would get to before you would finally say, no, I'll take the Saints to cover.
This game is
the over-under being 44.5. I mean, I'm pounding the under on that.
That feels high. That feels really high because I think if the Saints pull out ahead, I could see this. I see a scenario where the Saints are getting 24, 27, and Carolina's only getting like 10. That doesn't get you to 44. And I don't see a scenario in the world where this is a shootout game. If Carolina wins this game, it'll be like gross. And like if Carolina wins, they'll have less than 20. So if they have less than 20, the Saints have to have less than 20 if Carolina's going to win, right? That doesn't get you to 40. Kevin, the only thing with this game that disappoints me is the weather is going to be perfect. Like 72, sunny, like a perfect fall day. This game doesn't deserve that kind of weather. This game deserves like 55 and rain and wind and Dennis Allen in a poncho.
Ugly and gray.
Yeah, ugly and gray. Like this gross game deserves gross weather. The specifics on the game, I mean, like, here's the thing. If you're looking at prop bets, if you were going to bet, if I was going to tell you, listen, I need you to create me like a Dennis Allen gets fired on Monday parlay. Like, what would ingredients be? You tell me the ingredients, and I'll try to find people things to bet on. Like, what ingredients would it have to be?
Let's see. Shit. Well, most of the prop bets I'm looking at involve Bryce Young here.
Is Bryce Young is Bryce Young? Is he even with the beat up secondary? Is he capable of doing something against the Saints? Because I'm not sure. I'm not sure he is. I feel like if you wanted to bet on like a fire DA parlay, like whatever it is, it's got to involve the Saints defense rolling over and quitting and Carolina running for a crap ton of yards.
Yeah, I'm trying to find. Okay. So it's not Chase Hubbard. Chubba Hubbard?
Chubba Hubbard, yeah.
Chubba Hubbard.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like bubblegum.
Chuba?
It does.
Oh, Chuba?
Chuba Hubbard.
Chuba Hubbard. Okay. That still sounds like bubblegum. Okay. Chuba Hubbard. His over-under is 57.5, so you'd have to go over that. He has not scored multiple touchdowns in a single game. You'd have to probably say he gets multiple touchdowns, so you'd have to say he gets 2. He gets over the rushing projection.
I think you go over if you really want to if you're really committed to getting DA fired out of a cannon on Monday. I think you got to go Chubba Hubbard over 120 yards plus over 120 yards. That's plus 700.
Ralph, he's averaging 74.1 per game.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you want DA fired,
I don't think it's going to be 120. I think, look, the fact that he's averaging 74.1, I think you could say he goes over 105.
Mm-hmm.
So over 105 yards in the game. He has a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown. And Bryce Young has both a passing touchdown, at least one passing touchdown, and at least, what was his, let me go back over here and take a gander at this. Where's the Bryce Young prop bet? Where did I have it?
Yeah.
I had it. Sorry.
And so I think you got to go Bryce Young over 2 touchdowns, Chuba Hubbard over 100 yards rushing.
Oh, Bryce Young is smoking the betting line here is 10.5.
Yeah.
So you'd bet over that, but if you wanted to like really try and bet a higher number in the thought that this would be a sign that DA is going, I'd say Bryce Young over 30.5 yards rushing.
Yeah, and I think you go and to add in that you go Derek Carr under if you want to go Derek Carr over 175 yards, you got to go minus 575. I think you go Derek Carr under 175 passing yards because that means the Saints aren't throwing it, Carolina's running it. Disaster has happened, but Kevin, this is a Saints podcast, so we want to give this people the hope. There's a lot of people out there that are like, no, I want to beat Carolina, root for Dallas to beat Atlanta, go home, beat Carolina, beat Atlanta. Atlanta's 5-5, Saints are 4-6. We're right back in the hunt for the trash can crown of the NFC South. There's a lot of people that want that, and hey, a little part of me would want that too. So I'm going to give you, Kevin, if you're so inclined and you're a sick individual and you want to go false hope parlay, I'm going to give you the false hope parlay. Derek Carr over 175 passing yards. That's minus 575. That's a lot, but you combine that, then you go Alvin Kamara over 110 rushing yards. That's plus 350. And then just to add it in, I'm going Chris Olave over 110 yards receiving. That's plus 425. That'll give you your false hope because if I get Derek Carr over 175, Kamara over 110, and Olave over 110 yards, Saints are winning like 34-10, and they're just coasting. And maybe it's a lie, maybe it's false hope, but it's injected into your veins. You get the false hope. You're like, we beat Carolina. We're going to beat Atlanta. We're going to get this back on track. If you want the false hope parlay, that is my suggestion. You're looking at me weird. You don't like my false hope parlay?
I'm trying to follow. Look, I'm trying to follow it. I am. Oh man, they're 2-6 when betting the money line. So don't do that. But I guess I'm looking at some of these. I'm looking at these payouts on other things, like you're going like higher numbers here.
Yeah. I mean, my Saints over 7.5 bet is, I wouldn't say I've thrown I wouldn't say I've thrown it in the trash, but I don't know where it is, and I'm not really worried about finding it. Let's take this out to a broader topic because we talked about it a little bit on the main show, but we kind of got sidetracked with arguing and different things.
Hang on, Kamara total yards over 100.
Oh, I think that's a lock.
That would be I like that as a prop bet.
Because I just think the Saints are going to feed like they know they've got to get a win, and they won't have Kendra Miller, right?
Right.
Like they know they have to get a win. So they are going to let's be balanced, let's be sensible with Alvin Kamara's touches. Like that shit is out the window.
Well, but here's the thing though. Their last 5 games, Kamara has been kept under 100 total yards of offense in 3 of them.
Yeah.
So it was against Atlanta, which was very close that he got over 100.
Mm-hmm.
And then again last week against the Chargers, because he had a big run
and a big
shit. It's because he had a big run and a big catch.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, look,
I think that bet is pretty dicey, all things considered. But I
They
think
played
if
some
you
pretty
want,
good defenses, though. I mean,
but
like
if you want to
the
bet,
thing is so hard to wrap your mind around is like Carolina's not an NFL team. I don't believe. Like,
well, no.
other teams they play, Denver, Chargers, very good defense. Like those are real solid NFL teams. Carolina is not. Carolina, if they don't beat the Saints this Sunday, looking at their schedule, like they don't really have many more chances for wins. So, but I wanted, but we end on this. I wanted to talk about Derek Carr in this sense. When we were talking on the main show, people, you know, I had Dave with me and I had Cody, a patron. By the way, if you want to be a fill-in host on the Saints Happy Hour podcast, go to the Black and Gold level. You can be a fill-in host when one of the guys can't go. It's a great thing to do. But we were talking, and the thing about what Derek Carr has to do, Dave and Cody's argument was he doesn't really have to do anything because the Saints need him so much for cap space that he's gonna be the quarterback next year. And I understand that logic. I still think he's got to show them that he can be an NFL average or slightly above average quarterback, because the new coach could come in and not want him, and they can cut him, and it can create a decent amount of cap space for them if they did it post June 1st. So I think it's an interesting discussion in like, what does Derek Carr have to do on the field to sort of lock in his spot for next year for the Saints?
I mean, basic competency. I mean, it's not. I don't like. Let's run through it. So he can't be sacked a bunch. Let me pull up the stats he's got for this year. So this year he was sacked
5 times.
5 times in 5 games. So if he averages 1 sack, let's say he does play the rest of the way. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 more games. So let's say there's 9 more sacks.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 8 touchdowns and 4 picks in the 5. So that's less than a pick per game. So let's say he gets 8 or 9 more picks. And he would have to do, need double that. I don't necessarily think he's going to double it the way the offensive line is playing and other things. So let's say he doesn't double it. So if he does that, then let's multiply that 2/3.
God, he's
you guys are making me do math, which I don't like.
I didn't want you to. I didn't make. I didn't
on air. On air.
I don't know why.
No paper, no pen, all in the noggin, which I don't like.
I didn't have to do any math.
So let's add that. So let's say 15 more. So he would be somewhere in the neighborhood of 22 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
12 or 13 picks. 14 or 15 sacks.
Mm-hmm.
God, and his yardage. So what is that?
See, I mean,
his completion percentage is a near career high. So I don't think he's going to stay above 70, but let's say he keeps it above 68. And then yardage wise, he was averaging nearly 1,000, so slightly under 250 here. So 250 times 9, it's 18. And 450, so that's 2250. Subtract a little, so let's say 2150. So let's say he gets about 30. He's going to get over 3,000 yards, so maybe 3,100 yards. Yeah.
See, I wasn't thinking in specifics. I was just thinking like big picture, like if he.
Well, I just gave you a rough stat line of what it would look like if he was just competent. And gave you a competent enough stat line. Well, here's my question to you,
Kevin. If he's competent, if Derek Carr is just competent and is between the 16th and 20th best NFL quarterback the rest of the way,
Right.
Does that get the Saints to 5 or 6 wins, which, if you go 5-12 or 6-11 in a crappy draft overall and a very crappy draft for quarterbacks, does Derek Carr, by playing just competently, does he sort of put the Saints in a bind where even though they might get a new coach, hopefully, the new coach will be like, I don't like any of these quarterbacks. I don't like Shedeur Sanders. I don't like Carson Beck. And we're picking 7th. I don't want to take a quarterback. All right, fine. I'll stick with Carr for another year because the quarterback draft is poor. And even if the Saints 1-1, they'd be like, we can't get from 7 to 2. So is that what he has to do? And can he do it? Can he get the Saints to 5 and 6 wins and play them, be good enough to where he plays the Saints out of the position to take a quarterback, even if the next coach wanted them to?
Listen. The projections, the NFL mock drafts that I keep running, the quarterbacks are not going that high. Like Shedeur Sanders, he's getting picked high. Jalen Milroe is getting picked high. And Cam Ward is getting picked high. But there is a slew of guys like your Carson Beck, your Quinn Ewers, Nussmeier from LSU, and a few other guys that are falling, that are in the 2nd and 3rd round. But again, we're looking at October in mock drafts. College football season ain't even over, and so that'll change. Like, honestly, all the mock drafts that you see from yours truly right now, disregard. As soon as the college football season ends, like the jury will disregard what they have just heard. I'm doing this for fun. I'm doing that as a coping mechanism.
That's right.
Because of how bad this team is.
That's right.
So my whole thing is, even if Derek Carr is competent, the way this team has been playing, I don't see them. I just don't see them getting to 5 or 6 wins. Okay. If they beat Carolina, and I think they could, I still think they've got a chance at beating Cleveland, a good chance of beating Cleveland. I still like their chances against the Raiders. So that's 2 right there. Or sorry, that's 3. So
the Giants
again,
4.
Again, I still don't see them getting to 5.
Yeah.
Right now, because the team overall is playing badly. For Derek Carr, if the Saints lose, I know a bunch of people are going to immediately point at Derek Carr and say Derek Carr is the reason this team lost. But if the sensible people who watch these games and aren't just ready to just, drag Derek Carr out to the 50-yard line and, 86 them for just cuz. If the people who really watch and pay attention can look at that and say Derek Carr really wasn't the reason this team lost, and he plays competently, you got to keep him. You got to keep him for 2025. I'm already thinking he's sticking around because of the cap money.
Yeah, I think your point about 5 wins. I think 5 wins is the demarcation. Like if the Saints are 5 or less wins, drafting the quarterback they like becomes very possible. I think. But I think if you get above 5, if you have less than 5, it becomes very, very possible. But if you get in that 5 to 6, you get in that 5-6 win category, then you're picking bottom half of the top 10. Maybe you're picking 11. I think it gets harder.
I disagree. I strongly disagree that the Saints should be taking. I'm not
a dude. I'm just saying I agree. I 100% agree with you. I think the Saints need so much more. And
correct.
But I'm just saying it's more of a possibility if you're less than 5 wins.
Right, but hang on. Let me pull this up here. All right, depth chart.
Here we go.
Your depth chart at wide receiver right now.
You don't got to sell me, brother. I know it.
No. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it here because look, I've been a little lackluster on this particular episode. So let me get fired up here and spell some things out for you. Actually, shit. Let's look at the running backs. Alvin Kamara, who just got a nice fat contract. Good for Alvin. He'll retire a Saint, but he's on the downslope. He can still go, but he needs somebody to help him out. So what do we got?
The healthy running backs.
Jamal Williams, who can't find him with a search party. You got Kendra Miller, who, when his runs aren't getting called back for penalties, is out. So that means they had to sign somebody off the practice squad. Running back needs help. Your wide receiver depth chart is Chris Olave, who's going to wear the fuzzy gimmick.
He wore it in practice. I don't know that he's going to wear it in the game.
Okay, fine, but there's a reason for he keeps doing that. You got Mason. I'm just telling you the healthy guys right now.
That's right.
Olave, who is maybe 1 or 2 concussions away from who knows. Mason Tipton, Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Oh, my God.
And Jermaine Jackson.
Ooh.
All the stars are here.
All the stars.
Then you look at the offensive line, and it's an absolute, it's whatever. Like,
no, I hear you. It's bad.
Then you look at the defense. We don't even have injuries on the defensive line, and I'm looking at this like, oh my God, Cam Jordan, washed. Granderson, Chase Young, overpaid. Granderson,
nice, but not
Shepard, great. Saunders,
okay.
What are we doing? Peyton Turner,
bust.
Okay, Brissy, he's fine. He's fine. Boyd's okay simply because he was drafted so late. Isaiah Foskey, that's a bust thus far.
Bust, yeah.
Demario Davis,
35,
old. Werner, who knows? Willie Gay, who knows? McKinstry, out. Lattimore, out. Tyrann Mathieu, older. Like, you know.
The roster is bad.
Right. Like, there are so many needs on this team that you're going to sit here and try and convince yourselves that, oh, Jalen Milroe is the guy. Cam Ward is the guy. Dion's kid is the guy. LSU guy. All these other fellas that it's like, what are they going to do? They're going to waltz in. They're going to walk in here with this team and get murked in season 1.
I'll tell you this, and then we're going to talk about this, and then we're going to see if we revise our predictions or change them. But Kevin, I'm telling you, the best thing for the Saints. And I think I know you'll agree with me, but it will infuriate Saints Twitter and Saints fans. But it would be the best case scenario for them. The best case scenario for the Saints is somebody below them, whoever it is, whether it's the Raiders, the Giants, whoever, that they say, we want Sanders as our quarterback. And they say, Saints, we'll move up 4 spots and we'll give you our 2nd round pick and our 4th round pick or whatever. And we'll move up 4 spots and we're going to take Sanders. It would infuriate Saints Twitter because they'd look at it and be like, you took the quarter. You gave up on the quarterback that could have fixed everything.
If you are foolish enough to want one of these quarterbacks this year and say, that's what's holding us back. If you are foolish enough to believe that and not understand that this team is depleted on all sides and think, oh my God, that's what's going to save us. If you think that the fortress with its walls crumbling and that the thing that we need to worry about is a building is the flag flying in the middle in the open area, you've lost the plot. You have lost the plot. Listen, PFF has the Saints' needs right now just listed as guard and defensive line. That'll change. That'll definitely change. They got more needs than guard and defensive line. Like somebody was joking with me on Twitter, I think last week, saying, boy, the Saints have needs. The Saints, is there a position that the Saints don't need help? And I said, joke's on you. They're perfectly fine at punter and kicker. And then the guy said, yeah, you're right. And then we both were just like, yeah. It's like, excuse me, I'm just gonna, that Keanu Reeves meme where you're just like sitting at the bench, just eating a sandwich, like mumbling to yourself.
So it's frustrating.
Or it's that Ben Affleck meme where you're standing outside like with a cig and you're just like, what did I do?
Yeah, you're like, or the meme of the Popeyes worker just outside the bench.
Right. This team, if this team cannot be helped by a quarterback.
No,
there is no rookie. There is no rookie coming through the green room in April that is going to save this team. There is not. You need to build this team up. And again, I get it. I get it. Y'all hate Derek. People hate Derek Carr. You don't like him. This, that, or the other thing. Whatever. You have to build this team up. So that way, one of two things happens. Either Derek Carr plays better, or you finally get rid of Derek Carr after 2025 when the money won't be as bad, and then you actually can either lure a free agent in with a better-looking team, or you draft a quarterback in 2026 and you introduce him to a better surroundings, so that way he's not getting Joey Harrington or David Card in season 1, and he's completely useless the rest of his career.
That's right.
You bring in a rookie quarterback on a bad team, you have ruined them for the duration. You have to sit there and watch it, folks.
We just saw it with Spencer Rattler for 3 weeks, and I'm not saying it probably wouldn't be as bad because a first-round pick would be more talented and have a better chance to succeed than Spencer Rattler, I think. But it'd be in the same ballpark. Like, Spencer Rattler didn't have a chance to succeed because everything around him stunk. All right, Kevin. So we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Are you going to change your pick?
Nope. I'm sticking with it. 16-14 Saints. I'm an idiot.
I'm sticking with it. I want to change the score a little bit, but I'm not going to. I firmly believe the Saints are either losing this game in hilarious, disgusting fashion, and it'll be the grossest football game you ever saw in your life, or they're winning by 3 touchdowns. Like, I don't think there's going to be any sort of middle where like break.
So you think Carolina? So you think Carolina is either winning by a field goal or the Saints are winning by 20?
Yeah, like I either think by the middle of the third quarter, Saints Twitter is going to be mad that Derek Carr came back, the offense is competent. They're winning. It's boring. It's like 21-3. You're like, this game needs to get over. Maybe I'm clicking over on other games to see what's going on. And they're saying sort of bored or mad. Or it's going to be middle of the third quarter and it's going to be like 7-6. And everybody on Saints Twitter is going to be united and be like, come on, Panthers, get this done. Beat this sad Saints team and get DA, maybe not fired on Monday, but end him. And we know that if they can't beat the Panthers, he's going to get fired. That's what I think we're going to be. That's where I think it's going to be. I don't think you're going to see like the Saints eking out like a 16-14 win and like barely surviving. I think Carolina wins in the grossest way possible or Saints cruise. That's what I think happened. So I'm tempted to change my score, but I'm not because Thomas gets mad at me when I change my score.
I'm going to own you.
And on the main show, when I'm wrong, he deducts even more points.
I do. I'm going to whack you.
So,
who did I pick for my player, though? I think
You picked Kool-Aid.
Yeah, Kool-Aid's out.
And he's out. That's the second week in a row, Kevin. You picked the dude that's not going to play.
I know.
Maybe I can make an exception and change it. Because Kevin's last. So he can make a comeback. You want to change it, Kevin?
See, part of me is, do I do that?
Pick Mason Tipton, you coward. Jermaine Jackson. Pick Jermaine Jackson.
Jesus.
Actually, you know what? I wish I hadn't picked MVS last week because he would have been perfect to take this week.
He would have.
Just
really
big, sexy Jake, man.
Wait. Sexy Jake. No, I'm not picking sexy Jake. Okay. I don't know how you score these, but I'll pick Trevor Penning.
I mean, Jesus, man.
Do it. I love it.
He's gonna get 0. He can't
Oh,
score, man.
he is gonna get 0? Okay, well then I'll take Mason Tipton.
There you go.
All right.
I bullied Kevin into taking Mason Tipton. But guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to give us a like and leave a comment in the algorithm. Like I said at the beginning of the show, it's a great way of supporting the show for free. And if you like what you saw, consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/Saints Happy Hour. The secret gold level is still open for one more day. You can save up to 30% if you become a secret gold member off the monthly price. You should do it. So thanks to Kevin for hanging out with me. Thanks for Thomas for running the show back in Poland. And thanks for you guys for supporting the show. We will see you after Saints Panthers. I can't wait. Until then, the bar is closed.